Y'all gonna make me follow that up? Can we just give a hand to Alec, Luke, and Hannah right now? Guys, I want to tell you that we're in a very specific time, and we're a very specific people for that time. You see, I have a name for this generation we're currently in. I would call it the Thomas generation. See, we're living in a time where we're in an absolute deficit of faith and an overabundance of people that are going to claim tangible, irrefutable evidence. You see, people do not hold on to faith anymore. They need that tangible evidence. It's what they crave. If they can't reach their hand out and touch it or read it in a textbook, they're not going to pick it up. And you guys, you see, the thing is, as Christians, we're a little limited on that tangible faith we can have. Those things we can reach out and say, this is absolute. But people won't hold on to that faith that we have, that faith that we claim. And before I tell you what to do, you'd probably like to know what I mean by the Thomas generation. If we can get John 20, 24 through 25 on the screen, please. Go ahead and start reading. They'll catch up with me in a minute. It says, now Thomas, one of the 12, was not with the disciples when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, we have seen the Lord. That's a big claim. But he said to them, unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. Doesn't this sound a lot like this generation? I mean, people are rejecting the possibility of Christ without physical or tangible evidence. You see, Thomas was your friends at school. Thomas was that internet troll inhabiting every comment section of every website known to man, saying that you cannot talk about Christ because you have no evidence. You see, Thomas was me. I was that kid growing up, 11, 12 years old, that would go down and kneel before my bed and say, God, if you're real, show me a sign. God, if you're real, give me some evidence because I need something to hold on to.
Amen.
But the beautiful thing is we are not alone in this, and Jesus showed us exactly what to do. If we go on further into this passage and we get to 26 through 29, it says a week later, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. And though the doors were locked, I'm going to emphasize that real quick because that's real important. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. I don't know about y'all, but that would have scared me just a little bit if I remember locking the door and all of a sudden Jesus just comes in walking through a wall.
Right.
But it's what he does next. It's so beautiful. You see, Jesus said to Thomas, put your fingers here. You see my hands. Reach your hands out and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe. Thomas said to him, my Lord and my God. Then Jesus told him, because you have seen me, because you have seen me, you have believed. But blessed are those who have not seen me, and yet have believed. In this, we see that this generation does not accept faith, that we must provide them with tangible evidence, and we're somewhat limited to what evidence we can give. But there are two tangible evidences of God that I can see, and the first is miracles, and the one we're about to touch on is you. Oh, isn't that great? You guys didn't know you were going to be in my sermon today. As the church, we are a tangible evidence of God. Our stories, our experience, our pain, our scars. You see, in order for us to reach this generation, we have to begin to show people our scars, which is the first point of my 2 points. You see, we need to start showing people our scars, our anxiety, our regret, our suicidal thoughts, our insecurities, our pain, our hurt, even our pride sometimes will hold us back. You see, I'm not telling you that you need to go up to every stranger and tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that you need to begin to relate with people. If you see someone struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts, let them know that you've been in their shoes before. Let them know that you used to have those nights where you couldn't get sleep because you kept thinking about how could I possibly be in this world after what I've done, after what they've done to me, after what I've seen. Tell them what helped you. Let them know that there is hope, and then let them know that there is healing and forgiveness no matter what you've done or what you've been through because of Jesus Christ. For everything you have, relate. But in order for us to be able to do that, we have to break this mindset, because each and every one of us, and trust me, I've gone through it too, we believe that scars are pain, that scars are regret. We have to know that scars are beautiful. You see, Jesus showed us a wonderful thing in that passage. A truly wonderful thing. I'm sorry, I get a little emotional with this. It's because we believe that scars are ugly and they're burdensome and there's something to be ashamed of. But you see, what we see in this passage is that Jesus coming back with the perfect body, the body 2.0, the body we're promised in Revelation after the second coming of Jesus Christ, he came back and still had his scars, yet we call them blemishes. Our scars are our story, and I don't have this written in my notes, but you see, until we hand over that authorship to God, that book ain't gonna sell. I think it's real funny that the enemy is gonna try to tell us that it's a sign of pain or weakness. And he's going to try to use our past like we don't know his future. Yeah. I'm here today to tell you that your scars, they're not failures, they're victories. They're not weaknesses, but God's strength. They are not your pain and suffering, but your hope and healing. Turn to the person next to you and say, I've got a couple of scars. Scars. Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Take ownership of those scars. Don't be ashamed of it. Take pride in the fact that God has carried you through some of the most difficult things you've ever imagined. Those scars give you hope. You need to look at them and say, hey, by the grace of God, I made it through depressions, my parents' divorce, I made it through anxiety and heartbreak and who knows what else. What else do you have? Your scars are beautiful because they are a tangible evidence of God. I'd like to open up the altars and have the worship team come down. Tonight, if you feel like you've been given a false death, that the world has told you you'll never be anything like Hannah said, that she said, you feel like you're already dead, you're in the grave. If you feel like that tonight, we have hope for you. If you feel like you're in the lion's den and you're being attacked and there's nothing you could possibly do because the enemy seems so strong and so fierce and so powerful, we have hope for you. You see, guys, if you're going through an addiction or some pain or some burden, we have hope for you. If you've got some scars the enemy's trying to claim as his tool, we've got some hope for you. Right now, around this room, we had 4 great words with 4 great points, but they all lead to one person, and that's Jesus Christ. So right now, with every head bowed and every eye closed, wouldn't be right if we didn't give an opportunity to those who have not met Christ. If you're here tonight and you want to meet the Savior, if you're here tonight and you want a relationship with the King, if you're here tonight and you want to feel love like you've never felt love in your life, if you're here tonight and you want to be freed, if you're here tonight and you want to claim a couple of scars,
With every head bowed and every eye closed, I just want you to raise your hand and own that. Don't let the enemy have the victory. Let's give God the glory tonight. See you guys' hands. Thank you. Thank you. Now everybody, we got to do this together because we are a family. Everybody repeat after me. Say, Jesus, God, I give you ownership. I give you this book I call my life. Jesus, thank you for your price that you paid at the cross. Thank you for the love that you've given freely to me. God, from this moment on, I'm going to choose to love you, hold you close, and follow you for the rest of my life. Jesus, I love you. Amen. We're going to have some leaders come down. If you need to pray for some ownership over some scars, if you need some healing in your body or in your mind tonight, if you're facing a couple lions or you feel like you've been dead for a while, come meet Christ and come alive. Come down. I'm going to be down here with you. We're going to get through this together because we're not called to meet this alone. Come down for prayer. Even if you can't do it by yourself, grab the person that brought you and have them pray with you. We're not in this alone. We're all here for you.